Hey, hi guys, how you doing? Good to see you. Wow, we got quite a little pregame chat going on tonight. That's very gratifying. Glad to see it. In fact, when I was setting up about an hour and a half ago, Jim Wallace actually put something in the chat for me. I'm surprised to see that, but no, it's great. It's great. How's everybody doing? I see by reading the chat that some of you guys are freezing your asses off, and some of us are still stuck in 85 degrees and high humidity. I don't think I'm going to I'll get a lot of sympathy for that, but it is what it is. We're praying that it cools down a little bit down here. Brent Nunley. Let me say hi to everybody. Let's go back to the beginning. I don't know if Jim Wallace is around, but he was sure around at 4:30. Les, Exploration Obsession. How you doing? Jody, Drone Shots. Craig, Mad Kiwi. RD, FPV. How you doing? Les wanted to know if I knew what a good cigar lighter was, and I put the link in there for you. for 12 bucks you get 5 of these things, and it comes with a little thing of refill of butane, which is pretty good quality stuff. The one thing that you got to be careful, Les, I want to tell you before I forget, you got to use a high quality filtered butane. Don't go to Walgreens and buy the Ronson stuff. The minute you put it in, the lighter is toast. It's gone, and you'll ruin it. So go to a cigar shop, buy a big bottle of the best butane filler they have, and these 5 lighters will last you. I don't even know when I ordered the batch that I have. I'm still using them, and I gave a couple to my son. I went looking back in my Amazon orders when you asked me, and my orders only went back 6 months, I think, in their screen, and it was before that. So it's been quite a while. And anyway, those things work great. I like the single flame torches better than the ones that have 3 heads and 4 heads. That's just more to get clogged up and dirty and goopy. So, oh, you already ordered it. Okay. Hey, it's a shame I don't have an affiliate link for that, but I'll just have to pass up on that 80-cent commission there, Les. Who else, man? Kiwi. Rick Halber. How you doing, Rick? Good to see you. Rick's been hanging with me on these on this build of that fixed wing airplane I'm doing, but I've done a little bit of work on it off the air, but I've been busy all week and haven't had a chance to jump on and get another get the next step going. But I'll show you guys how far I've gotten tonight, and hopefully I'll be able to get back on. We have I would say a small but interested audience of people for that. I don't know how popular it's going to be, but like I said, I'm building it anyway, so I may as well jump. Just do it live if anybody's interested. Who else we got here? Drone Shots said hi to you. Exploration. Joe C, how you doing? Good to see you. And Joe said he ordered a Tyro 129. You're gonna like that, and you're getting it on Tuesday, and you ordered it yesterday. Boy, that's pretty. Did you pay extra express freight? Because when I ordered mine, it took like 3 weeks to get here. But that's a nice drone. It comes with everything, and I've only flown it a little bit, but it flies pretty good. I need to fly it some more. In fact, I went and bought some 3,000 milliamp 4 cells for it, because it'll carry a much bigger battery than the 5-inch quads, and with that 3,000 milliamp 4 cell, I should be getting anywhere 15, 20, 25-minute flights out of it. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know. Ed, love my drones. How you doing, buddy? Welcome. Good to see you. And Brent Nunley is here, and starting to cool down a little bit here. Yeah, Ed's up north of me, not very far, but we do have a cold front coming in, and we're supposed to finally get our first touch of fall here over the weekend. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Brent, I don't know where you are, but you said the front just moved through. Yeah, we've been getting these fronts coming down this way, and they just kind of stop right before they get here, or they go through, and then they head back up again. And we are on the warm side. They become warm fronts and go away. But I'm sure there'll be some Arctic air blasting its way through, and we'll finally have a little fall, and then everybody will bitch that it's too cold. And we all need to bitch about something, I guess. Happy Lux, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming. I sent out some invitations. Anybody? Jim Wallace said he's going to join me, but I don't see him in the green room yet. He had mentioned that he was going to do a little test live stream, so we'll see what happens. Brent says, I invested in some Titan antennas for my Phantom 4 Pro. Got the car mount with the 7 dB gain. Can sit in my car, fly, and stay warm. Good. Hey, good for you. Good for you, man. I guess you guys saw the video stuff I was showing through the French doors there during the during the pre-show. That's where I was the last couple days. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my adventure on an actual paying drone gig, which I don't do too much of, but I don't do real estate or any of that stuff because it's just not worth it. Nobody's willing to pay any real money, especially if you take these jobs from Drone Base where they want you to do all this crap and pay you $50, and they'll pay you if everything turns out all right. So I don't. I thought they might be a good source of work, but it turned out that it's just a waste. Every job they've sent me, or every offer of a job they've sent me so far, is in a place that is too close to the local airport here that does not have the Lance system yet. So it's basically unflyable. But I went to Tampa, which is on the other side of the state from me. About 100, where I went was about a 140-mile drive to film a couple of hundred people doing Tai Chi on the front lawn of the Fenway Hotel, of which the International Taoist Tai Chi Association is a part owner of that hotel. And that was a hotel that was built in 1927 in Dunedin, Florida, and it's a historic hotel. And the theme of the hotel is jazz. It's always been a hotel back in the day that featured jazz, and they still do. But last year they finished completely rebuilding it, and they had a grand opening a year ago, and I went over there and filmed hundreds of these Tai Chi people doing Tai Chi in the driveway in front of the hotel. And they were supposed to do it out on the front lawn, but they had just put the sod down, and they wouldn't let them walk on the grass because it was brand new sod. So they ended up shooting it on the driveway and under the portico, which it was okay, but it didn't have quite the same effect. So next year in 2020 is the 50th anniversary of this International Taoist Tai Chi Association, which is worldwide. They have thousands and thousands of members, and they're going to be doing a bunch of promotional stuff, advertising and social media and all kinds of things, and they hired me to do this shoot that I did yesterday. And it was not. It was a shoot. It was not an event. They had 200 or 300 people that are here from all over the country for a workshop and things, and they gathered them all together, and we put them out on the front lawn of this hotel and arranged them to spell out a big 50. So when you're up in the air, you could see the big 50. And we put stakes out and yellow ribbons so that, to stake it out, and they'd get behind it. And the idea was they're supposed to get out there and do Tai Chi in the shape of a big 50. I don't know if any of you have heard the expression herding cats, how difficult it is to herd cats. Well, that's as close an analogy as I can think of. They had a couple of people out there with bullhorns, directing them, trying to keep them in line, and it was the sun. It was completely overcast at noon, and the weather looked horrible. The wind was okay, but I have UAV, the forecast, the app, and it gives you an hourly forecast. And I don't know how many of you use this app, but let me see if I can find it. If I can find it on my phone here. and I'll show you. It is UAV forecast, it's called. And it looks like my phone is playing havoc with the green screen because that happens to be all green. But this is what it looks like. And then if you hit forecast, it gives you the hourly stuff, and in the different columns, it tells you wind gust, temperature, precipitation probability, cloud cover, visibility, visible satellites, the Kuiper index, and estimated satellites locked, and then basically tells you whether it's good to fly or not. Now, one thing, it only counts the U.S. satellites, and the Mavics pick up the GLONASS and everything else. So this thing told me yesterday it wasn't good to fly because I didn't have enough satellites, but because it picks up not just the American satellites, I ended up with about 17 satellites and certainly had enough to fly. Hey, Rick, how you doing? Peter Carroll, how you doing? Good day, and good to see you. Tomas O'Sullivan's here. Thanks for coming in, guys. And I see that I have Ed sitting patiently in the green room here. Love my drones. I'll bring you in here in 1 second. Give me a second to finish this story, and then I'll bring you in, Ed. So at any rate, the app said that at noon there was 100% cloud cover. At 1 o'clock there was about 90% cloud cover, and at 2 o'clock it said 40-something% cloud cover. And I said, wow, I sure hope this thing was right. And I'm telling you, right on the money. Right after 1 o'clock, the clouds started breaking up, and we ended up with a nice blue sky. And in a little while, I'm going to show you guys some of the raw footage that I shot, which at times looks all over the place, but basically the constraints I had to work with was it was 85 degrees, humid, with a bright sun, and we got all these people out there that are doing it just to be photographed and sweating like crazy, and it was hot. And that kind of made the whole thing into a get it done quick. And you know, when you're flying these kind of things and trying to set these shots up, you don't need additional pressure other than worrying about whether everything's exposed right and whether the SD card actually captured what you're shooting, because this is a non-repeatable thing. Either get it or you don't get it. If you don't get it, everybody's disappointed. You don't get paid. So there is a little bit of pressure to get it right. And some of the things that I do is when I change batteries in the drone, I also change SD cards. And the SD card that was in the drone, I stick that in my Crystal Sky, and because it has 2 SD card slots, and I look at it to make sure I actually got some footage and that it was what I wanted. And then I put a different SD card in the drone, so I know if something happens, at least I have half the footage on a separate SD card that I've already checked. So that takes a little bit of the pressure out of it. But some of this flying I did was over water, and it would have been a shame if you end up getting some great shots and everything's great, and then you end up putting the drone in the intercoastal waterway with the SD card and everything. So that's a little trick that I learned, is shoot some of it on one SD card, check to make sure you got what it is, and at least you got something. And then when you change batteries on the drone, change SD cards too. And the Crystal Sky is nice because it does have a dual SD card slots. Not only can you look at what's on the SD card that you just took out of the drone, but you can copy the files from the SD card that you just shot to the one that's already in the Crystal Sky and make a backup copy of that file as well. So that's a pretty handy thing to do. So without further ado, let me bring in Ed. How are you, young man?
Well, thanks for that.
Well, you are, man. I can call everybody on here young man and pretty well get away with it.
So we do want to see where the plane's at, because I watched some of that the other day.
Oh, okay. I'll get to that. Let me.
I watched when you put on the landing gear and the nose wheel
Oh, cool.
and
Cool.
stuff. So I was there for that.
Good. And Steve Carpenter's here. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Who else came in? EBR's here. How you doing, my friend? EBR, probably one of the most prolific FPV flyers on the planet Earth. Does
I
a lot
won't
of flying.
dispute that.
Does a lot of flying. Yeah, a lot of flying. So
And that's what it takes. It takes packs. Lots of
yeah,
packs.
I haven't flown since last week. I've been busy all week. I have work to do. I have then I had this 2-day trip, and I got back here, and this morning I had to cut a little of that video up because even though they haven't told me what they want, whether they want 30-second spots with narration and text, or how they want it cut up. I just basically got the raw footage. I got about 30 minutes of or plus 30 minutes plus of just all kinds of footage. But they were all really anxious to see how well it turned out before they went home. So I got into Premiere Pro this morning, and I cut them up a 1 minute video of just some shots. I mean, it wasn't finished and polished like a normal edit would be, but it was a 1 minute shot, and I threw some music on it, and I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys right now if you'd like to see it. So let me look at the chat. I'm trying to do a better job keeping up with the chat.
Yeah, man, it's hard.
Yeah, well, you keep up with the chat, and
Oh, well, thanks for handing that cat off.
well, that's what you're the co-host, see, so
Yeah,
you're supposed to keep up with the chat. So what I'm going to try to do here, just for the fun of it, I'm going to try to do something that I haven't done before, and that is I'm going to actually show you this right from Premiere Pro. Now, I think my poor computer's probably huffing and puffing here, because not only am I streaming, but I've got Premiere Pro, which is a pretty heavy duty program, open as well, and seems to be hanging in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to full screen on me. So Ed, you're still there, but we'll come back to you.
No worries.
All right, so we'll go to full stream on me. I want to go to my my big monitor here. I want to open up Premiere Pro, and there's the editing stream, and down here is the timeline, and any of you guys that have edited, you know that the up here in the upper left hand corner is the preview window where you can scrub through the footage, and you see how fast this thing scrubs through. That's because when I have 4K video, I create proxy files, and it really makes the editing a lot nicer. You can even scrub through the little previews down in the file manager down here in the lower left. So at any rate.
Well, let me ask you this. So when you do that little clip that you sent them, you didn't export that to something, or you?
Yeah. So what I did is
you're just showing the editing.
Yeah, some of this. So down here in the lower right is the timeline, and below that, the timeline of the clips that I cut is the music track.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do, since I don't have the audio from this, it's just coming out of the speakers here. I'm just going to let the microphone pick it up, so it may not be the best. So we're going to go over here, and I'm going to just start playing it. And I'll make the preview window big so you can see it.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was just a 1 minute deal, you know. Boom.
So what does the 50 represent?
The International Taoist Tai Chi Association has been they're celebrating their 50th anniversary year in 2020.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
this is going to be some promotional stuff. So that was about 20 minutes worth of editing work to take 30 some minutes worth of video and just pick out a few decent scenes, which is why when you look at the raw video, you know, some of it's smooth, some of it is repositioning, some of it didn't work, some of it I was trying to fly a super smooth maneuver, and some of my helpers were reaching over my shoulder, pointing at my monitor. You know, I said, "Get out of here! I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to fly this thing." But that's what I've been doing for the past couple of days, and I have, like I say, 30 or 40 minutes of raw footage, and I think the longest, they're just going to use little teeny snippets of it here and there, because if you just start sitting watching the long footage, to a drone pilot it might be interesting, but for promotional purposes, these things are just, you know, a couple second blips here and there.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So did they pay you to do this?
Yeah.
How much?
I
How
can't
much?
tell you. I can't tell you that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't tell you.
No, the only point I'm trying to make is that obviously, from what I saw of that little clip, you did a great job. But how much time you already spent some time driving over there and driving back and doing the actual flying? To me, I'd be like, oh, well, here's all the raw footage. If you want something polished and produced, then that'll be more money.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
no, that's the way it works. That's the way it works. I got paid a certain amount of money to shoot it, and then I'll get paid hourly for the work that I do from here on out.
Okay, I got you. All
yeah.
right. Well, there you go.
And that may last. That may last a year. Through the course of the whole next year, I may end up getting 5 or 10 different little jobs. I may have to go shoot some other stuff. I may have to go do some still work. But at any rate, my daughter lives over there. See, so to me, it's an excuse. When I go to Tampa, I get to see my daughter.
All right,
So-
good excuse.
So,
Very good excuse.
I don't mind that. Yeah. Gary says I shoot 30 minutes to get 2 or 3 minutes of finished. Yeah, that's about right. And when you look at the industry, I'm talking about people that shoot, real guys that go out there with $100,000 cameras and shoot commercials and, you know, big time stuff. They get paid big dollars. I mean, big dollars. Oh, I see. I gotta laugh. Oh man. You can guess who's in the green room giving me wild hand gestures.
Really?
Yeah. Wait a minute. I have
Well,
to get.
let's see who it is.
All right. I have to do it right here. Have to do it right.
Art. Hey, Art.
Oh, with his spin-up shirt on. There he is. How you doing, Art?
I'm doing pretty good. It's great to be
Good.
here. How are you doing, Mitch and Ed?
Oh,
How
doing
you
great.
guys doing? Good,
Doing
good,
great.
good.
So you got your official spin-up
Got
official
my
spin-up shirt on.
Spin-up shirt.
Cool.
I'm famous.
What does yours say? Hang on a second. I'm trying to figure that
Oh,
out.
Mad Hatter or Night Ranger or
Yeah, that's nice.
somebody FPV.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's hard to read.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, welcome, Art. Good to see you.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, you guys have been around. I've seen you everywhere, Art. Let's see if I missed anybody in the chat. Got Tomas is here.
Oh,
Steve
really?
Carpenter's here. Yeah.
All
Great.
right. Hello, guys.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
So what you been up to?
Just been working and trying to get over this darn cold I've had for a couple weeks. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you-
Rick, excuse me, Rick. Yeah, absolutely. Go post the link to help Dan out.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention that anyway.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't get a chance to watch his latest update video. I watched number 2, but I didn't get number 3. How's he doing? Any of you guys know?
he looked a lot better than he did on day one. He was
Absolutely.
in ICU, yeah.
Is he? Oh, is he? He's
in
still
a
in the
private
hospital. He's
room.
still in the hospital.
Yeah,
Though.
last I saw it, he was in his own room.
And is he scheduled for some more surgery?
From what I'm hearing, he's gonna need several more.
He's too young.
was,
He's too young for that. You know, I mean, he's just a young kid to have to
Yeah.
go through what he's gone through. Man,
He was waiting on the results of a liver biopsy, last I heard.
Oh, okay.
oh, okay, wow, that would be. Yeah, I heard him talking about the fact that he's got liver problems. I hope he doesn't need a transplant. Although they do amazing things these days.
Yes, they do. They could actually do a partial transplant.
Yeah, they put a lobe in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mike Night Train, welcome, sir. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I wish him the best. In fact, last month when I knew that I had to go to Tampa, I had said to him in one of his live streams, I said, I'll meet you at Ed Radis Park over there on Tuesday when I come in, and we'll fly. Well, obviously, we didn't fly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but I wish him the best. I wish him
Yeah.
the best. I hope he gets everything together. And
Right.
I thank you, Rick. Rick, you're always there for the guys when they need you, and it doesn't go unnoticed by the community. That's for sure.
Oh,
So,
and Rick, thank you for the candy.
oh, that's all you need. Well,
Yeah,
he send you all the Halloween candy that he didn't need.
Well, he sent me a box of candy and some Grumpy Blogger for President buttons.
Oh.
So that was-
Hey, did you get your little
Yes, I did.
robo vehicle thing?
I am going to do a video of the unboxing and get all the stuff out and do a video on that, and just gotta find the time to do it.
Yeah, busy, huh? Well,
Yeah.
you work. It's us retired guys. Well, I say I'm retired. I still work, but
Yeah.
it's the retired guys that seem to be busier than everybody.
Right.
Let me say goodnight to EBR. He said he's over there. It's getting late for him. So
All right.
thanks for coming in, buddy. Appreciate it.
Good night.
Appreciate it. I wanted to. Well, go ahead. I was going to say I want to.
I just was going to say a quick, I want to retire statement.
Well, you're not old enough to retire yet.
Obviously.
Yeah. Just because you got a gray in your beard doesn't mean anything,
Yeah.
Yeah, 60 years old now. Probably take the horizontal nap before I am able to retire. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I tried retiring. I went nuts.
Yeah.
I need to be doing something, and if I can make a little money, for me at this point, it allows me to have the money to do this stuff, to
Yep.
fly drones and airplanes. Otherwise, I'd have to be budgeting myself like most retired people do.
Yep. Hmm.
But it's nice, we'll work for toys. You know how it
Yeah,
goes.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
That's a nice statement.
yeah, yeah. Well, if you're not enjoying yourself, why bother? What
No,
good is
I
it?
concur.
Yeah, if
I,
you're
I
not.
was thinking about, how these people are near the exits of the freeway. They always have those signs, can you spare a dime or
Yeah.
out of luck. And, well, I was going to do that. Have a big sign that says, I need subs for my channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I need some subs.
I need I need watch hours.
Yeah, I got the watch hours I got. I need not that I'm going to make any money out of it, but I would like to get to that 1,000 level so that I
Yeah,
can get the perks of the 1,000, being able
yeah,
to be considered a quote partner. But I've got plenty of watch time. I have 800, and the last I looked was about 800. I think it was 878. So I'm not far away.
878 of what
100,
watch minutes?
no, 180. I have 878 subscribers now.
Oh, okay.
878 is what
Yeah,
I'm showing too.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's 122. Now I could, go on Pusa Studios and
yeah.
play that game for a while, but I don't. I haven't. Or hang out every morning on Canadian Drone Hub,
Right.
but
Or go to Ralph's Trucking.
oh really? But I
Yeah,
would I would like to have subscribers that subscribe to me for a reason, so that they actually
well,
watch.
here's the deal. Once you hit 1,000, then YouTube will say, hmm, well, these people are coming up. Maybe we ought to recommend some of their stuff. And I think once you break that barrier, it kind of helps you in getting some people to come to your channel.
So if each one of you guys, let's see, I've got about 13 or 14 people watching now. So if each one of you guys would create 10 alias YouTube channels and all subscribe to me, I'd make it.
Well, I think I'm not really wanting to make into different names, but I mean, I do have two channels. Let's just see if I have you.
Oh yeah,
I
but
have 3 channels.
it's come. Are you subscribed to me on all 3 of your channels?
You know what? I think I'm subscribed to you on my fishing, or I know I'm subscribed to you on my political channel. But
Okay.
if not, I definitely will.
Well, I'm not. I'm not. It's not. I don't lose any sleep at night.
Oh,
It's growing pretty good. I started December the 9th of last year.
oh boy!
So it's 11 months. I've been doing this for 11 months.
Wow. Well, that's not bad. You're
And
doing
it's not considering the fact that considerably over the 4,000 hours of watch time.
right,
That's the big accomplishment as far as I know, because
right.
and that's just been a lot of live streams and a couple of videos that have hit. I've had one video that's 20 something thousand views now.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, and I got a lot of subscribers from that video, and it was a video on a GoPro vlogging rig. Who
Oh,
knew? Who knew that?
there you go.
But it got into the stream of recommendations
Uh-huh.
because of the keywords and everything, or something hit. I've been trying to figure out what I did to make that hit, and I haven't been able to recreate it, even though I've done the same exact thing on an updated version of that. But
Yeah,
that's got 2 or 3,000 views on it.
right.
Um,
I'll give you a suggestion, Mitch, and that is, especially on a live, like when you do your builds and you do it through StreamYard, it's hard. You can't really put the tags in like you would like to on YouTube. But
Yes,
you can,
you can.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what you do is you as soon as you create the video in StreamYards and schedule it,
Hmm.
you go and open up the video in a browser and click the edit video button and then put all the tags and everything else in there.
Yeah.
Oh, before it's even started.
Before it even starts. Yeah, as soon as you create it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, once you create it, and you can go in there and you can put it, set up your playlists and complete the setup. If you look at this live stream that we're on right now, it's got all kinds of tags and everything in it.
Oh,
Okay.
And that works
good.
pretty good. I got an itch in my nose, and I'm going to be very careful not to stick my finger up my nose. Unless we all know what happens when you have a frame or two of video with your finger stuffed up your nose.
That's why you switch to the other camera, Mitch.
Yeah. The or you just go with it. Stick that thing up there. It reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where he's in the car.
Yeah.
And a hot-looking woman is next to him, and she looks over at him, and he was scratching his nose like this on the side, but from where she was, it looked like he had his finger up his nose, and he goes, "No!"
Yeah.
Oh, let me say hi to Edward Myers. How are you? Good. And Nanya, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. So, Art, I'm looking for a live build from you on that. You want to build watch time, man? That might go on for days. On that RoboMaster thing that you
Wow.
won. Drone Strike LLC, how you doing? Thanks for coming. Hi, guys.
Well,
It says.
That might be an idea. I've got an extra computer.
Yeah, just
I could,
turn the camera on and send invitations, and I'll come and keep you company in the panel, and just be on all day. Who cares if you get 3 people, 4 people, 5 people? You can end up with 50 watch hours from a deal like that.
Yeah. Well,
And I mean,
you know
that's
what?
a hell of a lot more time than you get when you put up a 10-minute video,
yeah.
unless you
Absolutely.
get 10,000 views on it.
Right.
It really is the only way to build
Right.
to build this kind. And I like doing the live streams. I enjoy. I guess I'm kind of a closet-born teacher. I guess.
Right.
I was a guitar teacher when I was young, and I was a flight instructor when I was in my 20s. I taught people how to fly real airplanes.
Right.
I like teaching. I like to if I know something and somebody wants to learn, I love help to whatever the limit of my ability is. I like to
Right.
I enjoy that. And
In the guitar teaching, what was it? Acoustic? Was it?
well, I had both, but I played electric guitar back when I was in school, in high school, and we had a band, and we used to go out and play weddings and things like that. And I had a little side gig teaching guitar.
You.
Yeah, but we were playing all the oldie moldies back then. I mean, we when the Beatles came in, we were starting to play some Beatles songs even.
Do, 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 do.
Rick Halber says he'll keep me company. Yeah. Oh man. So anyway, let me show you guys. Speaking of the airplane,
Okay.
let me show you. I know Rick has been keeping up. Let me show you what I've done on this. So I'm going to switch over to the airplane screen here. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make me like that and leave you guys on the side there so we can still see you. And I'm going to switch over to
Oh,
there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So
a big
What-
hunk of styrofoam.
when we left off the last time, I had finished on the back here. I took the stab. I had to glue them in. I took them off so I wouldn't bang them into everything a lot, but they just slide in, the rudder and the stabilizer. Got all the servos in for that and everything, and got the landing gear installed on the bottom,
Cool.
and got the steerable nose gear in there with the servo, and everything is.
Nice.
Whoops! I'll beat it up. It's working. And what I did which I thought I may as well do it because it would actually be like watching paint dry if I did it live. Was I took the flight controller
Yeah.
and there it is. And you have to solder all, you see, let me get a pointer here. Let me see, hold on a second here.
It's kind of
Back
fuzzy.
up just a hair so it'll.
You're a little fuzzy.
Little fuzzy, okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Strong as a bell.
Yeah, if I had it sitting flat on the bench, it would focus. But up here, it's a little higher. Now here, you see all these little pins where the servos, they don't come on the board because you have the choice of either soldering everything like you do on a normal drone controller,
Right.
but in an airplane, since all the servos have plugs on them, and since the servos all have plugs, I decided that I was also going to put plugs on virtually everything, and I'll show you what I have here in a minute to do that. But you have to solder. You have to put all of these pins in, and you can see where I have this. I've already plugged a couple of servos. They're not plugged in where they're going to go, but I just plugged them in to keep the wires from flopping around.
Right.
And this thing has like 12 different places to plug servos in. But there's going to be a lot of servos in this airplane because I'm going to have one for each aileron. Whereas normally in a fixed wing airplane, you'd use a Y connector and just plug it in. And because one is in one wing laying on one side, one's on the other side, they actually go kind of reversed and it works fine. But if you want an airplane to really fly good, you do what they call differential aileron. That means that it goes up more than it goes down. And in order to do differential aileron, you actually have to have a separate channel for each aileron and program it to have less up and less down and more up. So I'm going to have two channels for ailerons, a channel for the steerable nose gear and a channel for the rudder. And I'm not going to tee them together either because I want to be able to adjust the nose gear range independently of the rudder. I want maybe more rudder and less nose gear. You know what I mean? So that's going to have a separate channel. You have the motor control. The ESCs they can be teed together. I don't need differential motors on the twin here, but that'll.
Really?
What was that?
What if one motor is a little more powerful than the other one?
Well, probably won't be. They're pretty close.
Well, I mean, you've been splitting everything else up.
Well, I'll tell you, if it becomes a problem, then I'll worry about it. But with a twin, you can tell real quick because you'll hear the oscillation as the different frequencies. You know, they won't be synced. You'll hear it go wah 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 wah. You know, so if I need to put it on a separate channel, I've got enough channels, and then I have a channel for the camera tilt and another channel for the camera pan, and another channel for the flaps. And then the GPS will also have a plug on it to plug in there, and the receiver will have a plug on it to plug in there, and the pitot tube will have a plug on it to hook up to that thing.
You gotta have a pitot tube.
Yeah, it's going to have an
going to have airspeed.
Yeah, it's going to have airspeed and ground speed, and
cool.
it's going to have all that, and I'll be able to see all that in the on-screen display in the goggles. So I did put all those, soldered all those pins, and then I made this red plate here. That's I've 3D printed that, and the flight controller screws on posts. I don't know if you can see that or not, but
I can see that.
I mean, to see it from the side, it actually sticks up a little bit, and lets air go under it, and then I just drilled these 4 holes down into the plywood and put blind nuts underneath, so I can remove that easily. And that's a good way to. So that's all. So I did that. I got that all mounted in there, and I just stuck the battery in it to keep the nose down. Otherwise, it would set back up on the tail. It's not quite balanced. But that's all I did. I mean, and that was a couple. Believe it or not, was a couple hours worth of work
Wow.
to
Yeah.
do that. And I said, well, I really want to get this thing. Where is it? Here it is over here. There we go. I really want to get this thing. I want to fly it one of these years. So I thought that the next thing I want to do on the live stream is to start with the wings and everything. But I did get that much of it done. All that tedious little stuff of getting the flight controller ready to go, and it's going to be quite a little machine when it's done.
It looks
Yeah,
like
it's
you'll
going to be a lot of fun.
fly.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So.
Uh-huh.
So that's where I am on that, and I'm hoping, if not tomorrow afternoon, then maybe over the weekend, to really get on with a live stream and really get something done on it. I thought I saw some new people come in.
Love my
Did
drones.
Peter Carroll.
Coast to coast.
Drones is here.
Oh, but yeah, Bill, how you doing, Bill? Bill Thomas, good to see you.
John RC Funds Diversions.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Help me out here, guys. Hey, I didn't get a chance to see it last night because I was on the road. But how'd you survive? I understand you had Mike on there. That's always a trip.
Yeah, it was. I watched it last night.
And I'll have to watch the replay of it. But Mike's always a trip. How was it?
Yeah, he is.
I guess Bill's here, so he survived okay.
Gary's here from Brent Aerial.
Yeah, Gary, how you doing, buddy? There's lots of videos of that plane flying. Yes, there are, Gary. There's and interestingly enough, it's not as that this is an aspect of the RC hobby that doesn't garner hundreds of thousands of views. If you look at YouTube and you go and search Sonic model binary, even the actual manufacturer of it, who put out the first video advertising it, that video has about 5,000 views.
Wow.
So I mean, considering in the FPV business, when something new comes out and somebody like Bardwell or Drone Camps RC or some of these guys actually review it, they get tens and tens of thousands of views on those things. So as is usually my modus operandi, I tend to gravitate towards more obscure hobbies for some reason. Things that not everybody else is doing, and I think this possibly might be that. But if you've watched some of those videos, especially this bona fide pirate guy, who really does some good long range stuff. He has antennas tracking. He has tracking antennas for the video feeds. He has. He uses a RF feed called Dragon Link, which is designed to go 40, 50 miles.
Wow.
And you can. I'm not going to do that kind of distance, but I'd like to take it out 2, 3, 4 miles. Maybe I'm going to use the R9 long range receiver, and it's a 900 megahertz thing.
Go for the R11. Make it 11.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, sport.
Brent Newman. We have somebody new here. How are you, Brent? It's so relaxing watching. Yeah, it's either like watching paint dry sometimes, or if you get in the right mindset, it is. It's very very zen. He does a nice job, and one of the things that I really think it's kind of cool is the pan on the camera. And as you got the autopilot set, and it's holding altitude and it's holding heading all by itself. I mean, it's full autopilot, or following waypoints. If you've programmed waypoints, it's actually flying a whole thing all by. You're free to just look around as if you were just riding in the back, So you pan the camera sideways, and being as it's a twin engine airplane, when you
Right.
pan sideways, you see the engine and then the cell out on the wing, and that's kind of the view you get sitting in the back of an airliner.
Mhm.
And it really is cool, and you don't have to worry about watching where you're going
Right.
because the airplane is flying autonomously.
Uh-huh.
This particular flight
Unless a
controller,
bird wants to take you out.
what's that?
Unless a bird wants to take you out.
Yeah, well, birds tend to fly, unlike drones. They run from model airplanes. I don't know
Uh,
what the difference is.
yeah.
When a model airplane comes along, they scoot. When a drone comes along, they think it's something they want to make love to.
I don't know.
I don't
mean,
know. I don't know.
I had a hawk, but it was only after I just landed my little Manus 85, this little guy, and he did a flyover to see if he thought it might be something he wanted to eat. But
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about maybe it's the noise. I don't know. Something about it. But the airplanes, they don't seem to bother.
Uh,
This flight controller that I'm using in this thing is the Maytech 765 wing, they call it. It's designed specifically for fixed wing as opposed to for drones. You could use a drone controller in this thing, but this has got all the places and to solder the pins for the servos and a lot more flexibility for a fixed wing, but you couldn't use it in a drone. I mean, you could, but it's basically only got two dedicated motor outputs instead of 4 or 8 or 6 or something like that. But it does have something that's cool that you don't see too often, is that it has two camera inputs that are switchable
that's awesome.
by a radio channel. So whichever camera you're switched to, it will send that picture to the through the flight controller, through the OSD, and to the VTX transmitter to send it back to your goggles. So I'm going to mount a second camera somewhere on this airplane, and I want to mount it somewhere cool, somewhere that'll be kind of
Somewhere
cool.
cool.
And maybe I might mount it underneath, pointing backwards, or something
That'd be
something
That
cool
could
like
be
that.
cool.
Yeah. Now it won't have a pan and tilt on it, but it'll be a second camera that
Oh,
as I'm cruising around, I'll be able to switch the view to it. So it's going to have two cameras on it too. So that's going to be fun. And I'm going to put the Cadex Tarsier in it,
mhm.
which is that little FPV camera with the two lenses, where the bottom lens is the FPV and the top lens is a 4K high def video recorder with a built-in DVR and SD card. So it's going to shoot. It won't be stabilized, but it's going to shoot 4K video as well.
Right.
And
Hey.
that also pans and tilts with the
Right.
FPV camera, so that high def video will be on the pan and tilt head as well.
So
Mitch,
where does the pan and tilt now?
Well, that sits up in the front
Right.
where the cockpit is. You don't
Okay.
put the plastic canopy. You just mount the camera. And hang on one second. I'll go get it here. It's right here.
There you go. Yep. Oh, it's invisible.
It's in the box.
Ah.
Okay. This is
Oh, okay.
the,
Okay.
where and this has. It's funny how my green screen treats this foam almost like it was visible, but
Yeah.
this goes on, and if you put, see, it's got the magnets around on the side there
Oh, okay.
for the clear plastic canopy.
Right,
But
right.
if you mount the camera up here, right up here, and this cutout, this square cutout right here, is where the servo goes, that the whole camera mechanism mounts on top of, and that turns
Okay.
the camera, and then
Okay.
there's a tilt in it too. So it's going to stick up about this high,
Okay.
but that's where the pan and tilt camera goes up there.
So it's kind of like a two-axis.
Yeah,
Like
and
gimbal,
you
up, down,
yeah,
right?
I got
Yeah.
it. I've showed it on the build live stream, and I'll show it off when I do the next build stream.
Right.
Um,
Well,
but
Mitch, do you know what a tarsier is?
Yeah, it's a little animal with big eyes,
Yep.
and that's why they call it the tarsier because it looks like it's got two big eyes.
Uh-huh. They are native to the Philippines. And
Ah,
they,
I
they
didn't
are
know
a
that.
primate, and they're very tiny. They're only maybe 3 inches tall, and
Wow, wow. Heck,
they're uh, they're found on the island of Bohol. And that a lot of tourists go there, and they go to the jungles just to see the little tarsier,
but that's yeah, that's what they named it.
right?
And I guess the Chinese people know all about tarsiers because that's what they named the camera. And of course, all these camera manufacturers. This is Cadex,
Right.
and of course, the one that I got was bad, so I had to RMA it
Darn.
to get FPV, and I did, and I sent it
Uh-huh.
back, and they actually even credited me the postage to send it back,
Mhm.
and promptly back ordered the replacement. So they don't have it, but I don't need it at this time. I have another camera mounted in there now, just for what I'm building, and even if I have to
Right.
fly it before the Tarsier, these things you can swap out real easily. But that's
Now,
about the only thing I don't have. I finally got the little flashing light kit
right,
that came in.
right. Now you're using OBS right now with the StreamYards.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to show me how to do that. I have my Linux machine here, and I want to learn how to use
Do they have the virtual cam driver for OBS that runs on the Linux machine?
virtual camera.
Virtual camera driver.
I don't know, but I'm using a camera now. Wouldn't that be it right there? Or would I have to, or is that another
It's a plug. There's a plug-in.
plug-in?
Yeah, and
Okay,
let me see if
I
I
could
tell you
go.
I installed it so long ago I almost forgot where you find it. But is it under tools? Yeah, virtual cam. Okay, so what'll happen is, and
Huh,
I'll digress here for a second, but
okay.
let me see. I don't know if this is going to be too small for you to see, but do you see where my mouse is?
Yeah,
See me moving around?
right,
Right here is a drop down that says Tools,
right.
and then it says Auto Configuration Wizard, Captions, Automatic Scene Switcher, Output Timer, Scripts, NDI, which is where you hook in Skype, and then
Right.
Virtual Cam.
Okay, let
And
me.
you have to download and install the plugin on your computer, and then it'll show up when you open OBS. You'll see this virtual cam. When you click on
Oh,
that, you get this window open, which is the settings for it, and you just click on right over here where it says auto start, and
okay.
that
I
way,
got.
whenever you open, as soon as you open OBS up, it automatically starts the virtual cam.
Oh, okay. Because I don't have that. I
Yeah, you
have
need to have
auto
that.
config,
Then
text
then
link,
then when you go
automatic.
into settings on StreamYard,
Okay.
okay, you see where it says cameras up top.
Yes. Yeah. When you
You
first
see
do.
I have a camera that says OBS camera,
Yeah.
and
It
that's the
does
one.
that with the when I have vMix running on my Windows machine.
Yeah, well, and you can use vMix as a camera for StreamYard.
Right. That's right. And I've
Right.
done.
So it's you're doing the same thing with OBS. Basically, you're actually streaming from StreamYard itself. In other words, StreamYard is where I created the stream, and StreamYard is this red button up here. When I push that red button, that would end the broadcast. I'm not streaming out of OBS. I'm streaming from
Right.
StreamYard. I created the stream in StreamYard. I started the stream in StreamYard. I went live from within StreamYard. And StreamYard is only thing OBS is doing right now is acting as a camera, and anything that OBS puts out. What right now I'm putting out this whole big monitor of mine, so
Right.
that's what you're seeing.
Ah,
It becomes the camera, which means when I change cameras in OBS, anything that I put on here in OBS, it sends out to StreamYards as the camera input, and
Right.
that's all OBS is doing right now is
Right.
acting as that as the virtual camera. But I don't know if they have the virtual camera plug-in for OBS that
What?
runs under Linux.
Well,
They might. You
have-
probably have to check that out.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They've got
Well,
cat fish.
hold on a second. Let me.
I was going to say when you were going through that explanation that I wish I had a light bulb that I could have put on top of my head because you explained a lot to me right there.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I think I understand it. Okay, OBS Virtual Cam version. Hold on a second here. Let me show you what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
Look, fellas, I gotta run. I
Oh.
just, you know.
Okay, Ed. Well, thanks for
Great,
stopping in, man. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
So see y'all. The plane looks awesome, Mitch.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you.
work.
It's coming.
All right, and we'll see y'all around.
Okay, buddy. Take care. Have a good one.
Take
You
care.
too.
Hey, Chris Hope's in the house. How you doing, Chris? Good
All
to
right,
see
Chris
you.
Hope. Yeah.
Did I miss anybody else? No, but
Huh?
good. Thanks for coming in, man. Now here I got, this is the OBS Virtual Cam 2.04,
Uh-huh.
and I'm trying to see how to install without installer. Go to GitHub release, unzip OBS install folder, OBS Virtual Cam, installer exec, zip. I'm trying to see if they have a.
Yeah, there's
It
probably
might just be
to,
for.
what is that?
It might just be for. It might just be
Windows?
for Windows. Yeah. Let me do this. Let me go
Okay.
back here, and
Yeah, go to Linux. Type in Linux. There you go.
Catfish OBS Studio plugin. OBS 42-second OBS Studio plugin that provides output capabilities to video for Linux 2 devices. Basically, Linux version of OBS Virtual Cam, but only
Oh.
contains the video sync part. You can use it with cross-program video transferring OBS Studio third-party software supporting video for Linux too. Now, you'll have to see if StreamYard supports that particular protocol.
Okay, now I know how to do, yeah.
Yeah, but that's how you do it, and it really simplifies simplifies the stream, and it lets you just, all I got to do is push buttons here on my Stream Deck to change the scenes.
Well,
And
that's the one thing I'm learning about Linux is how to install programs. You gotta go into the what is that? It's kind of like the command prompt in
in
Windows.
Unix,
It's
yeah, it's like working. It's closer to Unix. I used to work in Unix quite a bit, and so I know that. But I tell you, these days with all the stuff that I'm doing, with all of the flight controllers and Betaflight and all I have to, it's all written for Windows, more so than even Apple.
right.
Windows is in this hobby is what you need, and I mean I don't want to tell you how to run your business there, Art, but if it was me, Linux would be gone and Windows would be there.
Well, the thing about Linux, it's open source and it's free, but
Oh,
if you
I know.
get
I
up
listen.
your
I
butt, yeah.
trust me. I understand, and there's a lot of things that if you're a real software guru and a programmer, you can do at Linux that you can't do at Windows. But when you need to be compatible with a lot of stuff, how about like DJI stuff? Does that run on Linux? Their assistant and all that?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it has to be on Windows. At any rate, try it. See if you can find
Yeah.
a Linux version of the
Well,
OBS virtual
I'm
cam and see
doing
if
it right now.
StreamYards will take it. And we have a new visitor in the
Oh,
green room. So let's well, he kind of disappeared off the screen now. Jim Wallace is with us. So come on, Jim. Get back in the picture and I'll bring you in. He's waving. I see his hand. All right. We'll bring in your hand, Jim. There you are. How you doing, man?
I wanted to do a Ken Heron entrance there.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
I was going to be on here early, but I started a live stream 2 hours ago, and I was fairly successful with it and had a lot of cool people in there, and I haven't done one for a week, so I just stayed there. And
Oh, that's cool. I hope you brought them over. I hope you brought them all over here with you.
I mentioned you. I hope I brought a couple thousand over for you.
Was I see Jim at Above and Beyond Drones just joined. Was he over there with you?
No, I didn't make an announcement beforehand. I wasn't even sure. My voice is bad most of the time, and sometimes I can make it and sometimes I can't, so it's hard for me to think ahead too much. But
Drink water.
yeah, I have a special concoction here with Greg's, not Greg's, Bragg's famous mother apple cider.
Oh, okay.
Honey,
Oh, okay.
honey and aloe
okay.
vera juice.
You know,
And I've been to 5 doctors, throat specialists.
huh?
I've tried Manuka honey, which costs $45 a bottle.
Woo.
I've got sprays made for singers and opera singers. I've even tried our friend Vegemite.
Oh, that'll kill you.
No.
It didn't help either. It makes good. It's good if I can't find my preparation H. This is a good substitute.
No, you don't want to put You don't want to. That's not where you want to put preparation H. No. Have you been to it? Have you had your throat looked at by a ENT guy? Yeah.
$375 worth.
So it's nothing. It's nothing serious like nodules growing or
They put
something.
a camera down my throat. They put a camera up my ass, and they
Oh,
took swabs, everything. They couldn't find nothing wrong. But I normally go to VA hospital and it's free, but they couldn't help me, so I went on the outside, and with my copay it was $45. But
right.
she really knew what she was doing, but she couldn't find a damn thing wrong. And I said, well, something's wrong. I've had this problem for 11 months. Now, right now, it's not too bad. I got this fancy mic, and I'm running through a soundboard, Yamaha, and I can enhance it a little bit. But anyway, I just decided to go on with it and do the best I can. And
Yeah, maybe you just need to give it a break for a week or two.
There you go.
I tried that. I was off the air for 3 weeks,
Huh?
and it improved. Everything helps, but nothing gets rid of the problem. I would like to make a comment on what you've been talking about.
Go right
There's
ahead.
a program that neither one of you have ever heard of, which will completely blow away everything you've just talked about. There's a program called eCam, ECAMM. It's kind of like StreamYard. A couple young guys do it. They've had it for years. They're real friendly. They have a show every week, and they talk about updates. It has features that StreamYard, it has at least 12 different things that StreamYard never even thought of. But it's not like StreamYard. If you took OBS and vMix and mixed them and had a watered-down version, this is it. It's a watered-down OBS and vMix. They were made for big companies, organizations, churches.
Yeah.
They weren't made for YouTubers like us. So that's why they have all that overcomplication. Just like Premiere. It wasn't made for YouTubers. It's made to edit major movies. I use iMovie. Comes with my Mac, and it's free. Now, Ecamm only works on a Mac. That's one issue. But it doesn't take a high-end computer. I'm using a 3-year-old Apple laptop, and it's fine. But Ecamm is a watered-down OBS and VMix. You can bring in videos. It does green screen. It does 4K. Nobody needs it, but it does it. You can bring in videos, stick them on the screen, move icons around, just like OBS. Everything OBS does.
And you can stream, and you stream from it.
Yeah, it's a streaming program, just like StreamYard. I mean, in
Ecamm.
function.
All right, I'll check it out. But I'm actually, for me, I'm loving the setup that I have right now.
You don't really use OBS to its fullest. I mean,
I use a lot of what OBS has to offer. I don't.
Have you ever watched Green Bay Wacky?
Yeah,
Green Bay Wacky.
But I'm not in. That's not what I am. I'm not into all of the fancy graphical effects. That's not what I want. What I want is a good way to control multiple cameras and create and have the flexibility to create some scenes like I have, like this one right here. I'm sitting in front of the window with the trees behind me and the monkey.
No, I know. There's a channel called Green Bay Wacky, and he's got OBS, and he's got.
Yeah, I know who that. Yeah, Ben. His name is Ben.
So you don't have. I mean, let's face it. StreamYard is okay for most people, but
StreamYard is not. It doesn't have multiple. It's not. But StreamYard is not good enough.
Multiple cameras. I can bring in my cell phone as a camera. As a microphone.
I'll check it out, Jim. You got stock in the company? You have stock?
I wish I did.
And it's free.
It's irritated that people don't know about it, and it's if it worked for Windows, everybody would be using it.
Are you using it now to stream?
No, I'm learning how to use it.
Okay.
I'm not bringing in guests. I was going to do that tonight, and I'm going to start with StreamYard because it's easier.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jim. I'll keep an eye on you. And the first time you're going to do a stream using Ecamm, send me an email. Let me know, because I want to make sure that I watch it and see what it can do.
It has scenes and all the same things. OBS is just like OBS, only watered down.
Yeah, but I use some of the more advanced features of OBS, and
I can do your background green screen. I can put your monkey right over there. I can make I can make a lower 2/3 on the fly. I can drag a movie and stick it in there on the fly. You can't even do that with OBS.
Jim, have you ever heard the expression, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it"?
Right. Well, OBS is free. That one big advantage. It's
free. I've got it set up the way I want it. It does everything I need it to do, and I know how to work it, and I have no desire. I mean, if I was streaming into Hangouts when they did away with Hangouts.
I'm not trying to sell you. I'm just trying to.
No, I understand. I understand. It's just that for me, I have no desire to change this. I have all the flexibility I want. You're
fine. I'm talking about people who have never tried any of this and they want to get in. They're using StreamYard.
I'll look at it. I'll be happy to look at it.
And Ecamm might be an option. $12 a month. And
I'm not spending a dime on any of this stuff. I'm not spending a dime for StreamYards, and I'm not spending a dime for OBS. Yeah. And I can do this, Jim. But I can do this. You see.
But you pay for StreamYard.
No, I don't pay for StreamYards. It's free.
Yeah.
You're using the basic version?
Sure. I don't need any of their fanciness. I can do all that in OBS. I don't need their backgrounds or any of that stuff. And I can put my 800-pound gorilla right in front of my face, you see.
Well,
and then I can look all around him when he's in the way like this. I mean,
yeah, I know.
What else would I need?
Ecamm can't do more than what you do, but it can do everything you do.
Yeah.
But it would cost money, and you have a good point there. But
and
people are using the upgraded StreamYard, which is $20 a month.
No, and And
they can be
if
eCam for the
listen,
same
I can
price.
stream right out of OBS and bring people in with Skype. I can do that for free, and I can bring in up to 4 guests. The problem is it's more complicated
Yeah.
to integrate Skype. And you see Ken Herron when he has his the technical glitches that he has in his stream usually
Wire crash.
revolve around Skype and trying to bring in guests.
Yeah, I don't like Skype.
Yeah, and but I can do that. I can actually bring StreamYards into OBS like Spike is doing, but that makes it so complicated, and you really don't benefit.
I like to keep it fairly simple.
Yeah, and this setup that I have here is the height of simplicity. I have these controls in StreamYards. I can go full screen on me, split this scene. I have these different scenes. You know, I can make you full screen. You can share your screens with me, and all that's done from within StreamYards. What happens in this window right here, in my window, is all OBS. So if I want to show a monitor, I don't have to do a screen capture. I can do this. And I have another scene that sticks me down in the corner. So if I want to sit here and be on top of it, so I have three monitors. I have a left monitor. Right now there's nothing on it. So let me open up a video on the left monitor.
Mitch,
here.
I know I have OBS. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know all that stuff.
Yeah, so I have that.
I just wanted to introduce something that most people
All
never.
right, thank you.
If they have a Mac, maybe they might use it. I don't know, but you got a perfect setup. And
Yeah,
I got to hand it to you. You can do everything for free. That's
yeah, it's all free. I can do this. I can
It's
do
always good.
the big monitor with me in it, the left monitor with me in it. I have another camera right now pointing at the workbench. I have the overhead camera right there, the full front picture of me, the welcome screen with me and the chat. I've got the screen that I use to start with, which is where the countdown timer is. I have a be right back if I want to go somewhere for a minute, and I'm doing all that with just one finger here on this little Elgato Stream Deck, and I haven't
the
touched.
only advantage to what you're using over eCam is that it's free.
Yeah,
eCam
I like
can do
free.
all of that, every bit of that.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure
for
you
art-
probably could.
For art, he needs to get out of. He needs to go back to Windows or a Mac. You know, get with it. Windows has more options. I admit that.
Yeah, I
But,
think
uh,
I've never been a Mac guy. When I was in the computer business, we were a Windows shop. So I mean, I can't. I sit down at my daughter's Mac. I don't even know how to open or close anything. It's terrible.
I've got a $2,000 Asus game PC here with Windows 10. I know about it. I teach computers. I just don't like it. I use it for gaming, and I have a steering wheel connected to it, and I have a Oculus Rift headset, and I use it for entertainment. And
Cool.
I've got 4 Macs and my Macs are not as powerful, but I don't need that much power for what I do, even for my business. But,
3X drones. Let me welcome somebody new. How you doing?
Yeah.
You were here before, I think. Didn't I make you a moderator? I guess if I did, it didn't stick. So we're going to give you a blue wrench. Welcome to the neighborhood. Thanks for stopping in, and see if the next time you post something, you're not blue. See if that works out okay. And I said hi to Mike. Said hi to Mike Kelly.
Lose their tools, don't they?
Yeah. Well, everybody comes in here behaves themselves. I like the idea of because if somebody new shows up, they're not blue, then I know they're new and they haven't been here before.
Right.
Like to welcome them. So you've been Art. You've been doing any flying?
No, the weather's been weird here. We had that snowstorm, and then we had that really cold weather that came in yesterday. Yesterday the high was in the 30s, and so it's hasn't been good. And plus, when you're working, it doesn't give you a whole lot after work unless you plan something out ahead.
Yeah, you can't. You don't have like a balcony you can go out and fly off of, do you?
Yeah.
That would be the ideal thing, to be able to just sit in your living room in a recliner, open the
Yeah,
door, and out you go.
yeah. And plus,
That
I had a flood in my apartment.
Oh, are you back? I meant to ask you, are you back in the apartment?
Well, yeah, I've been back since Saturday, and they finally finished up drying the closet early this week.
Was it
They,
a plumbing flood?
no, what it is, I don't know if you've seen the photos. Oh, you're not on Facebook, so you're on. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I have an Instagram account that I said
Okay.
I need to start using it more, and I posted a couple of posts
Well,
on it,
I
but it's a
posted.
brand new account, and there's not a whole lot there. I'm gonna start plugging my videos on it anyway.
Okay. Well, I posted a a photograph of what caused the flood. What it is it's downspout, and if you look at the downspout, there's, well, water frozen around the outside of the downspout. So
So it's
that water,
rainwater. So it's actually rainwater, outside
well,
water that
actually,
came in.
it's snow that melted and then
Okay.
froze. And well, since it's on the outside, where does it go? Straight down, right into the foundation
Oh,
and into my,
oh, and you're on the bottom floor.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, I'm in a garden level, so I'm about 3 feet underground.
so
Art, can you move up a couple floors, maybe? I mean, would they let you do that for the same price, or I mean, that would avoid that?
Well, if they have an available unit, but I may be moving in about a month. I'll be moving into possibly into a one-bedroom apartment, but it'll still be a garden level, but it's on a different side of the building where they don't have that.
oh well, that's good.
Yeah, because I'm on the northwest side. It doesn't get a whole lot of sun, and when that snow melts, it goes down the downspout, and it'll freeze, and then it bats up, and then it melts on the outside of the downspout, and then when it starts melting, it follows the downspout, and it follows the wall, and it goes right into the foundation.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask Jim, above and beyond drones, my neighbor. You all know that Jim and I live like 10 miles apart.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask him, number one, how his wife's doing. I know she had surgery a short
Oh,
time ago. And secondly, I found this park to fly in. And I put up a video about it, Palm Bay Park, which is right in Jim's neighborhood, just about. It's a Palm Bay Regional Park, and it's fabulous. It really is. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Let me see if I can find. Hang on a second. Give me. Here it is. And let me switch over. See, Jim, you're making me lose my voice. It's contagious. Here,
I,
this is
I
the.
apologize.
No, that's all right. This is the. God, what happened? This is the park down near Jim, and this is of course,
Cool.
an FPV drone.
That's a great video. That's a quality video there.
That's the DJI FPV system,
It works.
and that's the recording from the air module. But that's what same thing you see through the goggles. But it's a beautiful park. A lot
Yeah.
of big open spaces.
Perfect place to fly without hitting wires and trees.
And they fly RC airplanes out there
Oh,
too.
cool.
And I did a. I thought
Do
I
they ever
thought
put up little targets that you can fly through, that kind of rings
well,
and
you can
stuff?
fly. You can fly through trees and everything else like that. If I suppose if you wanted to.
Plus,
That's
there's a couple ponds there for fishing.
But here, I'm going to show you this. This is the Mavic 2.
Ah,
Oh no, that's not the Mavic 2. That's the same video I just showed you. I thought I
yeah.
have some video. I took the Mavic down there and flew it around.
That's quite a wide angle lens on there. It's got a little distortion, but that's
Yeah,
yeah.
it gives you a big field of view. This is yeah, I'm got it set to 4x3, and you get a big field of view, both vertical and horizontal. It
That's a
uses the
perfect
full
picture.
sensor, but what a great! It's huge. I'm only over in one little corner of the park, and it's got some nice water. I've got a seaplane too, an electric RC seaplane. I would take it out there. But what I was going to ask Jim is, we need to meet out there one of these days and do a little flying. And I want him to give me a call when he gets a minute. So if you're listening, Jim, there you go.
Someday I hope to do FPV, but I think I'm too old to learn that. I don't know.
You're not as old as I am,
I'm almost.
and I'm learning it. So there you go.
I guess you're never too old to do it.
No, well,
I mean,
I will give you one caveat. 50 plus years of flying RC didn't hurt any. That's for sure. It doesn't hurt in trying to learn this stuff.
That helps. That would
Yeah,
help.
tremendously. But
And used
you
to
notice that I'm not trying to fly under things and through things.
yeah.
I mean, this is you do what you enjoy. I've flown around a few trees and under, and through a few holes and like that. But I like going up for the big view
Hmm.
and just getting the feeling of flight. And I'm new at it too. I mean, I'm still just learning. I need a lot of practice at this, but
I was thinking about those videos you see where some guys not only flying along with the train, he flies through the train and around the train underneath.
oh, I saw that. Yeah, that guy
That
Nurk.
amazing?
His name is
Amazing
Nurk.
or what?
Yeah, Nurk.
Amazing.
He's one of the, drone racing champions. He's quite a
I
pilot.
think
But
he's from right here in Indianapolis.
he
Kenny had him
might
on the
be.
show one time.
He might be, but man, what a pilot. But
Yeah.
young people can be pilots like that. You got to learn this stuff. If you're going to get to that level, you got to start when you're young.
Yeah.
Starting at my age to try to develop those skills, it's just not going to happen. As much as I'd like to think that I still have the eyesight and reflexes for that, I just don't. So if you noticed over there, right here, if you notice right there, off to the left, oh, it's behind the old guy in a drone thing. Darn it,
Those are
hold on.
beautiful clouds, by the way. As a photographer, those clouds are magnificent.
Yeah, they really are pretty. But there, you see the white car
Yeah.
right above the word drone? Can
Little
you
dot
see
there.
that? And do you see the landing pad right out there?
Yeah.
You see me sitting on my lawn chair right in
Mhm.
front of the car? That's how I fly. Sit down on the lawn chair. I'll bring a little footstool out there, a little table, glass of wine, maybe. That's
Maybe a nice Cuban cigar.
there you go. That's my idea of.
Hey, Mitch, you need to do about a couple hundred videos on precision landing.
Don't be mean, Art. Don't be mean. Wait till I get my Skydio, man. You'll see some videos.
I know a lot of people have ordered one. They're hoping to get it.
Yeah,
before-
I'm on.
I said
I'm
he
in the
had it.
first. I'm in the first batch. Me and Steve Carpenter, I know, is in the first batch.
One guy
uh,
said the latest announcement the last week in November. But
Yep.
you know,
That was the email that I got last week in November. They'll be sending
I could
emails
order
out.
3 of those things. I could keep one and sell the other 2 for a lot more money than I paid
If
for.
you got them, you probably could, and that's why I ordered it. And I ordered it the first day. Was I figure the deposit, the $100, is fully refundable for any reason. You change your mind, they give you the $100 back. So you're not really locked in. If I had to pay for it the first day, plunk down the whole bunch of money, I wouldn't have ordered it.
Well, you missed that target by a few feet.
Yeah, it's not not as easy with an FPV drone
Yeah,
as
I
it is
bet.
with a Mavic. But listen, I got within a foot or two of it. That I was proud of
There you
myself.
go. It's
Mitch
good to know
has
what
a
you're doing.
comparison between flying or learning how to fly a drone and an RC plane, and what was the other thing? FPV. How do they compare in learning
Well,
curve?
the big difference is with an RC airplane, just you're flying line of sight. Okay, and you have to deal with different issues. And the main issue in RC airplanes is the fact that when the thing is coming at you, your controls are reversed from your perspective. In other words, when a plane is pointed at you, coming at you, and you give it a right stick, the plane goes to its right, which
Yeah.
is your left. You have the same problem with RC cars. You'll have the same problem with your little RoboMaster. Or you'll notice when you're driving it around, it's going to take you a little while to get used to driving it around toward you, straightening out the right way without thinking about it. Because if you have to think about it, forget it. So once you learn the and you have the same problem with little drones that you fly line of sight.
Yeah.
You know, you have to, but once that becomes reflex, then you can fly RC airplanes.
Yeah.
And to me, that's I've been flying so long and so much that it's automatic. It's like driving a car. You don't think about which way to move the stick. You're in the airplane as far as you're concerned. You know when it's coming around that which way. You don't even think about moving the stick. The sticks become extensions of your mind.
Right.
You don't think about moving sticks. You're like driving a car. When you drive a car, you don't think about turning the steering wheel and pushing pedals. You just do it. And the car becomes an extension of you. And when you've flown RC airplanes, they become an extension of you. And that was, I flew the turbine-powered jets, which went 200 plus miles an hour.
Oh, boy.
And you can't think. You better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have those reflexes, but the
Right.
minute you put the goggles on, everything's different, and drones are different because airplanes fly. They have momentum. They glide. You in an airplane, you pull the power back. The airplane doesn't fall out of the sky. It just starts to slow down, like letting your foot off the gas into your car.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were driving a car and you let your foot off the gas and the car just stopped. Bang!
Yeah.
Well, that's what a drone is like. You pull the power off a drone, it's just falling out of the sky. It's not going to continue to go forward any appreciable distance. It may have a little momentum, but basically the minute those props stop spinning, there is no lift. There's no lift whatsoever anymore, and it will drop like a rock. Okay, so
if you're using an RC boat, I mean, they don't have brakes.
but they slow
they
down.
coast.
They
They
slow
coast.
down pretty quick. Yeah. So the biggest new thing that I had to get used to was the goggles, and you'd think it would be easier because you're inside the thing. So left is always left and right is always right.
Right.
But you have to do it enough to gain the confidence, because you don't have the tremendous peripheral vision. You see what's basically in front of you.
Right.
And it just takes some getting used to. It's not superhuman or anything. You just have to do it. You have to, and I started with the little drone in the house, flying it all over the place, flying it from room to room, under the chairs, around the bedposts, and hundreds of flights with the goggles, just in stabilized mode, where when I let go of the sticks, at least the thing levels off. And that's generally what most of the guys fly indoors, is the what they call the angle mode, which means that at center stick the drone will level itself. In the acro mode, which is what you fly when you're flying the drones outdoors, if you bank the drone at an angle and let go of the stick, the drone will stay at that angle until you correct and put it back straight again. Now, you can fly these drones in angle mode, but you're not really flying them. You're just pushing them around. You're steering them, but you're not really flying. And especially if you want to, climb up, do a split S where you roll over and pull back on the elevator and loop out of the bottom. You can't do that kind of stuff in angle mode. The drone won't let you.
I just think with a drone, it tilts forward, and with a boat, it tilts backward.
Right, but
So
you're not cognizant of the forward tilt because the camera is tilted up. So when you're in the goggles and you're flying straight ahead, even though the drone is tilted down like this, you don't think about that, and you don't have to think about it. Right. There are times when you do have to think about it if you're trying to do some fancy maneuvers and all, where you want the drone to go a certain way, you have to factor in the tilt. But for just basic flying around, the only time you really notice the tilt is when you land, which is why it's hard to hit the spot. Because as you slow down and level the drone off to slow down, the camera starts pointing up at the sky. Right. And that's when you're trying to land on something that you can't see. So you get close to it, you pull the nose up, and then let the throttle off, and then hit the kill switch so it just stops. Whereas when you have like a Mavic, for example, where you have a stabilized camera, the camera, even if the drone is like this, the camera it always goes to the angle that you have it set at. Right. So when you're flying around in a Mavic and you're going forward and then you're going backward and you're going forward and you're going back, you push the stick forward, you pull the stick back, the drone goes back and forth. What you see in the camera is a level camera. You don't really know that the drone is doing this and then this and then this and then this because the camera is compensating. But in an FPV drone, the camera is hard mounted to the frame and it goes up and down.
Right.
Back when I had my first Mavic Pro, I was one of the first people to buy that Maverick, original Mavic white headset goggle.
Yeah.
And I found out that I'm one of the 5% of the people who will not fit. I have a big head, and the shape of my head.
Really?
I put it on. It just slid forward. It just wouldn't stay on my head.
You couldn't tighten it up with the little knob thing?
Oh, you can tighten it, but the shape of my head just prevented me from doing it.
Did you
It's
sell
not
it?
the size of my head, it's the shape of it. And I found out that about 5 or 6% of the people that buy those, they can't wear them. So I had to return it, unfortunately.
Wow.
You know, if they had like straps, they don't look as elegant, but they would fit. But the way they did it, it's all hardware, and there's not much room to.
Yeah, they got the battery in there. They got all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one of those. That's a nice goggle. I'll tell you the difference between that goggle and the FPV
Black
is
one.
the way they focus.
They make three, don't they? They made an FPV black one before they made the one.
Yeah, they made the race edition, but those goggles all focus to your reading eyes, and the new FPV goggles that they have focus to your distance. So the cool thing is I can wear my regular glasses inside the new FPV goggles and I see clear as a tack. But if I put the DJI white goggles on top of my normal glasses, I can't. It's blurry. I had to have a pair of reading prescription glasses made to use those. So if I take both of those goggles out to fly, I need a personal assistant to stand next to me to just keep handing me swapping glasses around,
Speaking of glasses, these sunglasses are reading sunglasses. They're very hard to find, and you might wonder why I'm using these. But if I have two big, I got two big LEDs. I got the screen.
You're blinding yourself.
I'm blinded. I really am.
Well, I bounce mine. I bounce all my light off the ceiling here. I got white ceilings and I bounce everything and I have nothing shining in my eyes and it works fine for me.
But with these sunglasses, it doesn't make any difference. I can stare it right at the light and no glare at all.
I thought you just wanted to be cool.
one's bouncing, but well, they're
I-
cool, I guess.
I
but,
thought you wanted to look cool. You got that dark thing going on there. You
Yeah,
got
kind of like
this is the
dark
Green
background
Bay
and
here. This is-
black hat and black shirt. And,
yeah,
yeah, it's a real James Dean looking thing
Yeah.
going on there. Yeah.
you know, they look cool, but yeah, Green Bay Wacky always had sunglasses, and I thought, why in the hell? How can you wear sunglasses? You can't see anything, but I can see my screen wonderfully perfect. If I take them off, I can't see it. It's so bright. You know, you get used to it, I guess. But
Yeah.
and these lights are not. I could put them right in my face, and they wouldn't even bother me. And these
Yeah,
things
they
are
don't get too hot.
big LEDs. Yeah, I don't. A lot of people use those old, what I call old-fashioned light bulbs with the big reflectors, and those are
Oh
crazy.
no, that's
These
you know,
LEDs are the way to go.
terribly hot.
And these I can change the color temperature and make it kind of cozy looking, you know, and I like them.
Let me say hi to a few new people. We got Swift Fox FPV. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. I see Bill Thomas looks like he's still here. Swift Fox Metro Drones. How you doing, my friend? Thanks for showing up. And Joe C says he likes to fly in horizon mode indoors, and I agree. I do that sometimes. Horizon mode, if in case you don't know what that is still a stabilized mode. In angle mode, when you push the stick all the way over to the left or to the right, it'll only let it go to a certain angle, 30 degrees or so, okay? But if you, horizon mode basically says, okay, once you get the stick past a certain position, we're going to let it go all the way. So when you're flying around in angle mode, you still have the stabilization, but if you jam that stick all the way over, you'll do the flips forward or rolls with it. And,
Right.
and not many people use it, but I set up, for some reason, I seem to set up Betaflight and actually set up my mode switch to be angle at the top, horizon in the center, and acro down at the bottom.
right.
I fly my Tello indoors, and it's not too good outdoors if it's windy, but indoors, in the wintertime, it's nice practice.
Yeah, it's fun. I hardly
It's a
ever
smart-
fly mine.
It's a smart drone. You can't buy a smarter drone for the
I
money.
got it sitting
Yeah.
right here, and
Mine somewhere.
it
It
is,
will
it is. But I have more fun flying that little Tiny Hawk with the goggles on in the house because I'm able to practice with the goggles. And
How long did it? Would you have a whoop or what? Tiny Hawk, is that like a whoop?
Yeah, it's that little white one. I've shown it here
That
on
looks
the
like
channel.
it'd be difficult. How long did it take to figure that thing out?
Well, you fly it in stabilized mode with the goggle. They sell a whole kit for $150, is it? Where you
Right.
get the drone. Let me see if I can find it here.
I'd like to try something like that. I don't know if I could handle that.
Here it is. 165 bucks. Race
With the
day
goggles?
quads. What you get is
Oh, that's those cheap goggles with the cell phone. I've got a pair of
no,
goggles.
this is a real goggles. This is not
Oh,
a
it
cell
is?
phone. This actually has a screen in it. You get a transmitter. Now the drone itself is about 90 bucks.
Mhm.
So what you're doing is for 75 bucks, you're buying a beginner radio and goggles, which you'll graduate from after if you're interested. But it's a great way to find out if you can do it or if you like it.
Looks like a
without
perfect way to start.
spending a fortune, because
Yeah.
you can spend hundreds of dollars, many hundreds, on a really top-notch set of goggles, and then you're going to want a real radio eventually, not this controller for this, but a real radio that's capable of flying anything. And but the drone will work with any radio that you buy and any goggles that you buy. So if you buy this kit at Race Day Quad's $165. If you buy this kit, you've got everything you need to get started, and it's a way to find out if it's for you,
Mhm.
and if it's not for you, sell it, or if it is for you, and you really get hooked, then you start and decide to get a better set of goggles, or sorry guys, I cut you out there. Get a better set of goggles or a better radio.
We have a drone club here in town. They fly those little drones. They don't fly the big ones. And we have a race car track here for RC cars, and they use that on weekends. And they fly their little loops around. They put targets up, and they bring their little kits in there, and they can repair them. And it's a club, and all they do is fly tiny whoops.
They fly the whoops. You know who does that? Mars, over in MARZ. Mars, over in Australia.
Yeah,
I know.
They fly pretty much only the whoops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a thing in itself.
But it's the same. It's the same experience. The bigger drones are more stable, and they do fly a little different. You know, the people say, "Oh, this is a little micro drone that flies like a 5-inch." You know, and maybe some of them do, but when you have the weight there and the inertia of the heavier drone, you do get a different feeling. And the 7-inch, I've got a couple of 7-inch drones like that Tyro 129, and that's even
scale.
better.
It's a challenge. It counts, and it's the same challenge, just on a different,
now
level.
the good news is that little Tiny Hawk.
That probably blows away most of your little loops, right?
You'd have to try real hard to break that thing. I mean, you can crash it into trees. You can crash it into anything. It's just you're just generally not going to break it, and that's what you need for a beginner. And you can fly it right into your head. You won't hurt yourself. It's got the prop guards on it. Yeah, you won't. It won't. You're not going to hurt anybody, and it's not intimidating. And I'll tell you what. You take that little puppy outside, and let me see if I've got this here.
Probably lose it.
Hold on. Well, you can. I'm afraid. I'm always afraid I'm going to put it on the roof.
I can see that thing sitting. And look, good thing I've got gutter guards.
Hold on a second. I'm going to find something here for you.
Would you say that's one of the best, if not the best, small little drones like that?
The Tiny Hawk, I think, is probably.
There's a lot of them out there that kind of look like that,
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the better ones.
Looks like a great deal.
But this here is me flying
over and under.
I'm in my house, so I'm bouncing around. I went underneath the thing, out the door, bouncing into things. But you learn to control, because if you go up too high, you bang into the ceiling. If you go too low, you hit the floor, and you have pretty narrow places to fly through. So that's what I do. I just and sometimes as I this was like my first flight of the day. It took me a few seconds to get used to the drone again, but you just fly it around. You can fly it around slow. You can, and you're looking. This is the goggle recording. So what you're looking at here.
You don't have to go 100 miles an hour or nothing.
No. But I go into the bedroom. I fly around the bedposts.
The only issue I might have might be my cat. He would.
Oh, your cat would probably freak out.
I'm sure he'd be interested.
Get a lot of views with that video.
That looks like a lot of fun. It really does.
It is, and I was clean at the other side of the house, and I'm still getting. And this has only got a little 25-watt transmitter, a 25 milliwatt transmitter, but I'm still getting a fairly decent feed. There's a right above the E in the word drone there, you see something 50, 60, 40, 50. That's the RSSI. That's the telling me how strong the radio signal is.
I mean, even the video is not bad at all for
such a thing. And this is through the Viper goggles, which are not a big dollar. They're the box goggles because I have to wear my glasses inside the goggles. But I'll start moving out here in a minute, I think.
Now those goggles, I wear reading glasses, so what would I do with that?
You probably could. The goggles are set pretty well set to your distance vision. So if you don't need distance glasses, you won't need glasses in the
Is
goggles.
there a diopter adjustment like it would be on a camera?
The goggles don't, no, because a box goggle doesn't have the two separate lenses like that. It's I don't know about the little Ishin. See there, I'm flying right into the studio, my studio, and there I am sitting in a chair. See with the goggles on.
That's wonderful. I love it.
There I go, boom, right into my foot.
If you
And
can't
then
break it- if you can't break
you
it
can't
out,
hurt it. Sometimes I'll take it. Sometimes I'll take it outside.
It flies outside, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, this thing will fly 40 miles an hour. I mean, this thing will really rip around. Here, this is,
Got to have like zero wind or.
whoops. See, I mean, this is some old videos. This is from way back when I was just starting to learn. Let me see if I can find one where I actually get a flight in. Here,
How
here
much
we go.
wind can it handle?
10 miles an hour, no problem.
That's okay.
So this is in air mode. So this is acro mode.
I'm amazed at that quality of the video.
Yeah, I mean, and that's this was probably shot 4 or 5 months ago when I was just getting started, and these are some of my first air mode flights where it wasn't stabilized, where I had to keep track of everything. But this is how I learned. Just taking it out, trying not to land it on a roof somewhere, you know.
How many times have you at in a tree or on a roof or whatever?
Well, this drone I haven't. I've only put one drone in a tree over at that office park where I fly.
Wish I could say that.
This there's an office park up the street from me.
Bob Casey's in the house. Yeah.
Oh, hey Bob, how you doing? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, this is a little office park, and this is a little 3-inch Tyro 79 drone that I this was shot about 4 months ago, and I was getting a little better at it, but here you got to be careful because there's roofs and trees and all kinds of stuff. But you know, I'm starting to get a little bolder and starting to go a little faster with the thing, and starting to flip it upside down on occasion, and you'll see.
That's the best video I've seen from a little thing like that.
Yeah, that was recorded on the Goggle DVR. That's I put a Cadex Ratel camera in that drone, which is one of the best FPV cameras.
Oh, this is not the little.
No, this isn't the little tiny hook. This is a little 3-inch drone, but it's a $79 drone from Banggood.
$79.
Called the Tyro. Yeah, it's a kit. You build it. It's called Tyro 79.
So it's got a.
But, you know, I mean, this isn't, this stuff isn't like Mr. Steel quality ripping around. But for me, just starting out, you know, at least I had it under control. And I think that I actually start doing some fancy stuff here in a minute. Other than
Like
just
that little
flying
line
around.
going across there is trying to keep up with the horizon.
That's I don't use that anymore. But there, you know, I start doing some fancier things. And this is a
What
fun
they
little
love
drone.
it.
This little drone will go 50, 60 miles an hour if you point the nose down and hit it flat out.
I want to say hello to Bob Casey. I'm making him some signs, and hello,
Oh,
Bob.
go right ahead.
Oh, and then there's Edward Myers just entered.
I think he was here a little earlier, but maybe
Oh.
not. Ed, how are you? Got Bob Casey, Edward Myers. Yeah, so this is, you know, this is my progress as an old guy in a young man's sport. But
Yep.
there I am. I got my little lawn chair. And not because I get dizzy or anything. It's just more comfortable to sit my ass down and fly. And then of course I graduated to the then I got the DJI system. Where is that?
Well, Mitch,
Yeah, I know. Ken Heron's calling
Yep.
you, Art. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you
you
know
got
how-
5 minutes. What's the hurry? What, you think he's waiting for you? You gonna you think
well, I
he's
gotta say hi to everybody.
okay.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that loop, man. Was that a nice loop?
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that again, man. That's worth
dynamic
that's
drone.
worth seeing that again. Here.
I'm going to give you a blue ribbon for that one. Mitch.
Watch this loop. Watch this. Power loop. Look at that.
Oh, boy.
Perfect.
Nice. And that's the kind of flying that I'm really, nice, big, smooth maneuvers, graceful,
Yeah.
and I want to, and I want to do it to nice music. But I've started in March. I think I got my first little toy FPV drone in March or April. So this is how long I've been doing it. And
Can you fly this drone inside? Okay, is it too powerful?
no, this one is too much to fly. This doesn't have the prop guards or anything on it. This is a 3-inch props on it.
Yeah.
This
it's
thing's
a
how
little-
much?
What's that?
75. You say $75 for this baby?
79 for the kit, but you got to build it. You better know how to solder and all other kinds of
Yeah.
crap. Yeah.
Well, I can
But
do
this is
that.
not the kind of drone you start with. You start with the whoops,
I see.
and
So this thing just goes fast, doesn't it?
it'll
Yeah.
go pretty fast. But the idea is it'll go fast, but you can hover it too. You have to be able to control
Take care,
it.
Mitch.
All right,
Yeah.
Art. Take care, buddy. Say hi to Ken for me.
I'll
You
see
tell
you,
Ken that
Ken.
you tell Ken we'll be along. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Bye, Art.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime, man. You know that.
Time as always.
We're gonna cut it here pretty
Take care.
soon too. We're gonna
All right.
cut it off here pretty
Bye-bye.
soon. All right, buddy.
I'm on Art Show Saturday.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well,
Yeah, I was on Art's show one day. He's I like Art. Nice guy. Nice guy. Real down to earth
He is a nice
and
guy.
funny.
I don't-
He's got a hell of a sense. He's got a hell of a sense of humor. I landed it right in a puddle, but it didn't hurt it. It didn't hurt it. Yeah.
I wore my Apple Watch in the shower the other day, and I thought, whoops, and it was okay. So who knows?
Yeah. But that's
Rich, how
it's,
many, I know your channel said old guy and a drone, but a drone is what? How many? 15 now, or what?
I've got what do
Should
I
be
got?
old guy and mini drones.
Yeah, I got an even dozen FPV drones now.
Wow.
I've got
Got the whole collection.
two
Yeah.
of the the whoops with the small ones, and then I've got 10 because I like to build that shit. Now I have a wall of drones, so I don't want to build any more drones. That's why I'm starting to build the airplanes now too. But
That's a very nice airplane you put together. That's very-
it's a great kit. It's beautifully made. I mean, it's
think it has what-
the quality of it is tremendous, and it comes. It's really not. You don't have to build it like you used to have to build them with balsa wood or fiberglass and all that. This is that structural foam, but the quality of this kit's the best I've ever seen. The foam is very, very nice, very, very hard and dense, and the fit of everything is almost to the thousandth of an inch. It's like it's machine work. Fabulous.
Back in the day when I was a ham radio operator, I built my own transmitters, and the secret for soldering is don't hit the contact, don't heat the solder, heat the contact.
Oh,
when it's
yeah.
not melt
Yeah.
to it. If you don't
Yeah,
get
listen.
that, make sure it's shiny. That's the rule of thumb on that.
When I was in the military, I worked on the high-end electronics stuff, and we went. A big part of my training was soldering almost to the space program level of soldering. So
Wow.
fortunately, I had that skill, and that really helps when you're soldering these teeny tiny little controllers.
It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I had to fix a Mavic Pro one time, and man, that thing is, it's tight in there, and little tiny things, and it's got 3 ribbon cables that have to be bent just a certain way, and it's very delicate.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. It's 8 o'clock, and I think we're gonna call it here, Jim.
Go say hello to Ken, I guess.
Well, I don't want to. 2 hours is more than enough for me to do this. I don't want to overdo it and drag it on longer than we need to. And
my live stream I just did. I was going to get on for 30 minutes. I was on for 2 hours.
yeah. These build things sometimes they go on for 4 or 5 hours, but I'm busy doing something. Anyway, Jim, I want to say goodnight to you. Thanks for coming in. Always a pleasure to see you. Take care, buddy.
Good night. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. All right, that leaves just me and the monkey. So I'm going to say to everybody, good night, and thanks for coming in, guys. I appreciate everybody that comes and hangs out with us, and I hope we manage to entertain you. Anytime anybody in the future wants to come into the panel, I'd love to have you. Want to have more new people in. It's a great way to meet each other one-on-one as opposed to just type it in a chat room. So don't hesitate to if you want to. I'm going to be doing some more live building on the airplane. Either I got some work to do tomorrow in the morning. If I get that done, I'll probably come on tomorrow afternoon, maybe 2 o'clock here Eastern time, and we'll go ahead and spend a few hours and maybe get the wings done on that thing. If not, I might do it Saturday because the weather here is not going to be conducive to flying. And with that, I will bring my music up like I usually do. That's my theme. I've adopted that as my theme song. And thank everybody for coming in. And if I don't see you before, I'll see you all next Thursday. So take the rest of the day off, go out, play with your drones, and just have a great day. Bob, Rick, Drone Shots, Jody, everybody who's still here, Metro Drones, thanks for coming in. Always appreciate your support. And now I'll turn it over to Spank so he can say goodnight.